Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the newest podcast on the internet. I say that because this is the first episode ever, and it is happening right now live on Twitch and brought to you in iTunes and SoundCloud glory. Also, probably on YouTube and any other distribution platform that will have us. This is The Menu. It is a news food show, a food news food eating news show about news that is food worthy and food that is newsworthy. Hey, that's a pretty good catchphrase. I like that one.
Such a good catchphrase, Dave. Wow.
We are coming to you live and direct from two different corners of North America. Myself, Dave, I am situated here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and my good friend Josh is joining me via the Skypes in Los Angeles, California. And it is just a marvel of modern technology that we are able to pull off something so intricate and impressive, namely talking with microphones and cameras about whatever we want. Josh, say hello to our friends.
Hello, friends, family, and anyone who might be tuning in to this delicious podcast that Dave and I decided to do. I am super fired up about it. I'm excited. I'm ready to get going and talk about food news, which it's kind of crazy, Dave, because we talk about food news on the regular anyways.
Yeah, you and I just have we like to have conversations about food. Sorry for interrupting you.
It's okay. I mean, it's long overdue, this podcast. And now we're going to take what we find on the interwebs in terms of food news and news food and bring it to the drunk tank.
I think the interesting thing about the dynamic between you and I, Josh, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I know that most often times I am wrong. I bring the technical aspect that allows us to bring this together. You bring the food aspect because you have your, I was going to say ear to the ground in the food world, but it's more like your tongue. Your tongue is on the ground in the dirt in the food world, and you're always tasting the newest and freshest things right off the ground.
It went somewhere. That went somewhere. You took it to a place.
But it's a good combo. We bring a nice dynamic to this that allows us to explore all the fun stuff. So if I could just start by saying, we have a list of topics that we want to cover today that are newsworthy foods, and these are curated, handcrafted artisan topics curated by our good friend Josh here. You are an artisan food topic discoverer, and we're just gonna start tackling them. I mean, I don't think there's anything else to say to introduce the show other than our first topic is the Taco Bell chicken taco shell. Now, that just sounds incredible. Explain, Josh.
Okay, so obviously food trends these days is trying to make food into other food and wrapping food into food and stuffing food and just combining many foods together, and Taco Bell is no different. So what Taco Bell did is they came out with the naked taco shell, I believe it's called.
They're calling it the naked taco shell?
The naked chicken chalupa, or the naked chicken taco, and it is essentially a deep fried piece of chicken in the shape of a taco shell, or a chalupa, which is essentially what? What's a chalupa, Dave? It's like a deep fried taco, right?
It's just a deep fried tortilla is all.
Right. So that, my friend, is what they started doing at Taco Bell. I'm just pulling up the press release here. Taco Bell exposes the naked chicken chalupa, and it launches nationwide. Sadly, not in Canada yet, I'm sure, but it launches nationwide in America on January 26th.
So that's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's next week. They say the shell is the chicken, but the chicken is the shell. That's quite a tagline right there.
So first things first, what I'd like to say is I think they missed a golden opportunity to call this thing Hell in a Shell. I think that would have been the best name humanly possible. Also, you're no stranger to either making your own tortillas or shaping things in the oven, like you and I had once made a gigantic bacon taco, and we used the oven racks to kind of holster the tortilla, if you will, and shape it to our will.
I think we used gravity, really. right? We used a
But
lot of gravity.
so since this is deep fried, I wonder how they actually get the chicken skin to be that shape. Like, what are they? Are they putting it around a device and then deep frying it?
See, that's the thing, Dave. It's not chicken skin. It's a full out piece of fried chicken.
That they've now cut up and shaped.
No, so basically what they do is, chicken schnitzel, right? Chicken schnitzel is a pounded out piece of chicken breast.
You beat the shit out of the chicken, and then you have a really paper thin chicken that you can mold.
Yeah, precisely. So I think that's what they're doing. But listen, I don't want to assume anything.
No, we shouldn't.
In fact, tonight, on this day, actually not even tonight, in 4 hours, I'm heading over to Irvine, California, to the Taco Bell headquarters to get an exclusive taste and look, touch, and feel at this spectacular naked chicken chalupa. Yes,
I can't help but feel like we need to take a moment and recognize or just announce that this stream is in no way, or this podcast is in no way brought to you by Taco Bell, nor is it in any way being sponsored or paid for by Taco Bell. It is simply that we are excited about the prospect of a chicken skin. So, if I may also say, this is like a keto friendly menu item. This is like for people that are trying to limit their carb intakes. I feel like that's pretty good.
I mean, it's not bad, but it's a deep fried piece of chicken, which means that it's covered and coated and smothered in all sorts of bread, right? Breadcrumbs. So it's not really, I mean, is it healthier than a traditional taco? There's no chance.
Also, at the same time, we're talking about Taco Bell, so it's kind of hard to say healthy and Taco Bell in the same sentence. What you can say is flavor country and Taco Bell in the same sentence. And I feel like replacing a corn tortilla with chicken is probably going to be delicious. I've always felt, and shout out to our friend, our good friend Amir, who always introduced us and insisted that we go for the chalupa in life. I feel that this is just an upgraded next level chalupa.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Amir Atari got hopped in his car and drove from Montreal to Vermont just to get this chicken chalupa. That's how much he likes chalupa so much. In fact, Amir, I think, just dropped 70 pounds, and now that this is coming out, I think he's doomed. I think he's gonna.
That, or I mean, if it's the healthiest Taco Bell item because it's keto friendly and all these other carb free diet friendly, then I think that he's in luck, because he's actually, you could lose weight. Don't quote me here, and I am by no means a scientist or anybody of authority that should be weighing in on something as ridiculous as health. I feel like this is healthy. I feel like this deep fried chicken tortilla is just a healthy thing.
It's funny you say that, Dave, and I'm just, as we talk, trying to pull up this article, but apparently, now this is allegedly, don't quote me on this, but I heard, I know you love fact checking me, Dave.
No, actually I don't. On this stream and on this podcast, we are the worst at pseudoscience, or actually the best at pseudoscience and straight up lying about medical facts. So you go ahead and you say whatever you want, and our viewers, our audience, they could take it with a grain of salt if they'd like.
Okay,
they could believe it.
Here's the bomb I'm about to drop. Taco Bell has low-key become one of America's healthiest fast food chains. For real. Do you believe it?
No,
exactly.
I don't believe it. But if you're reading it on the internet doesn't lie.
Here, I'll read this. I'll read this to you. According to Business Insider, Taco Bell has been restructuring menu choices from top to bottom, especially on the company's website and mobile platform. What's the goal, you ask? to give consumers a choice. They can pick out on Crunchwrap Supremes if they want, or they can go with the healthier option that's still quick service and delicious.
Okay. I mean, I guess they've earned it.
In the past 2 years, Taco Bell came out with I forgot what it was called, but it's called like Taco Bell. I forgot what it's like, a different type of Taco Bell restaurant.
They're gonna do like I don't know, like a full health kick, like rebranded Taco Bell. That's not just. I mean, I guess good for them in the day and age of health kicks and health food nuts. And I don't mean like actual like eating nuts. What? I feel that the fast food restaurant is under
Oh,
serious attack. And
I
the
mean,
only way
they
for them to
definitely.
survive is to make big changes like that.
That's the thing is I think the days of traditional burger, fries, and chicken is out the window, and that's why you're seeing fast food restaurants like Burger King coming out with this mac and cheese Cheeto crusted stick or whatever, and like no, seriously, that's why you're seeing all these ridiculous menu items. Either there's one of two directions to go if you're a fast food chain. You either go the healthy route
Yeah.
or you go the completely blow out your ass
Right.
ridiculous
Just
food creation direction.
obliterate all of your customers' insides.
For real.
Uh,
Anyways, that Taco Bell, new Taco Bell restaurant, and I think you might remember this from our days, our past days, but Lorena Garcia, who is a Latino famous chef, she created a new Taco Bell restaurant menu called the Cantina, which is Taco Bell's, like, I don't want to say upper class, but it's like their next level class of restaurant, uh, where it's like a whole new menu. It's like more of a refined. There's like steak and fancy beef and all this other sort of stuff. So that's
it's
Taco
in
Bell's.
Vegas.
There's a couple of them actually. I went to one in, I think there's one in Toronto actually, but there's also one in San Francisco. I was there over the summer and I hit it up and it was quite
So
delicious.
it's kind of cool because it looks like it could be almost like a like a hipster Taco Bell, like a new trendy Taco Bell. It still doesn't look like an upscale restaurant. It doesn't look like you're gonna pay like you're not going to impress anybody still by bringing them to the
No.
cantina.
It's the menu, I
But
think.
yeah, but it does look like a cooler, less cookie cutter Taco Bell, which is interesting because I mean, most Taco Bells are all almost exactly the same when you go into them, and you really do feel like you're in the epitome of American fast food culture. So this is nice because it feels like there's places in downtown LA, for example, or at Griffintown in Montreal where you get these kind of hipster vibe places where it's nice and trendy and you can wear nice clothes to it. I feel like you doesn't matter what you're wearing in Taco Bell so long as you're wearing pants and a shirt, that maybe shoes, I don't know.
Sometimes
I feel
not
like you don't
even
even need
not even the
you don't even
case.
need shoes. Yeah, I feel like you don't even need that in a regular Taco Bell. You could be the biggest scumbag you want to be going into a regular Taco Bell, whereas I feel like you go in pantsless with Crocs and tank top into the cantina and they're like, "Excuse me, sir, this is a medium class restaurant."
You know what's funny about just one little note of what you just said? You just mentioned Crocs, right?
Yeah.
I got prescribed Crocs from my foot doctor. No joke.
No, they
She's
want you to
like,
be bad.
she's like, you need to go buy Crocs instead of slippers. They're way better for your. Because I in my house I have concrete floors and it's not good for my feet. So she's like, go get Crocs. I'm like, I was waiting. I was holding out so
I'm
long.
gonna tell you something, Josh. I think you may just have to suffer the consequences of bad feet. That's just the name of the game. Unfortunately, you lose. You lose.
Hey, you know what? You know what this Taco Bell Cantina thing reminds me of?
What's that?
And this is, you're only a handful of people are going to be able to relate to what I'm about to say.
Hit me.
But do you remember early 2000s, mid 2000s in Montreal? I'm not sure if anywhere else in Canada, but they came out with that fancy Harvey's. It was like a week.
Yes,
Remember
I
that
do.
Harvey's?
It was like a nightclub.
Like, what was that?
So, for those of you that don't know, Harvey's is a food chain in Montreal, in Canada rather. They do char broiled burgers. They do it on the grill, right there in front of you on the grill. It's one of the freshest tasting burgers you could possibly have. It's just delicious. It's on a flame grill. I guess
Broiled.
flame broiled. I just like the word broiled. I feel like they just I don't know. I feel like people didn't take it seriously enough. So they decided to do a super fancy version of that restaurant that felt like a nightclub, but you were still just going there for a $5 burger and fry, At the end of the day, they weren't kidding anybody, and they didn't need to have like really intense loud music and sick lighting. People like to go for burgers to feel like scumbags. They don't want to feel like fancy pants, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And it was like such a weird experience. Anyways, moving back to our naked chicken chalupa situation.
Fiesta, fancy pants taco. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got?
Nothing. I was just wanted to talk more about it because I feel like it's not a new idea to make a taco shell out of fried chicken.
It
I feel like
reminds
it's
me
a
very
new
much.
idea to bring it to the mass.
I don't think the taco shell as chicken. I don't think that that's necessarily a new idea. I think overall, like the taco itself is probably relatively unique, but I feel that the idea of replacing a bun or a vessel for your meal with meat. I mean, we remember the KFC Double Down. They were the first people to do something as outrageous as that. Let's take a bun, let's throw it in the garbage, and instead let's use fried chicken. They definitely were blazing trails with that, and I feel that this is almost a nod to the KFC Double Down. And considering the close partnership between Taco Bell and KFC, I suspect collusion.
I mean, they are owned by the same company.
I suspect that they were cross-pollinating right here. So
Yeah,
it's
be
not
smart. Be smart.
So to add to your point, Josh, I don't think for a second that this is a super unique idea. I think just in taco form it's unique, and I think it's high time that they greased up tacos just a little bit more.
You know what I'm interested now that I'm looking at this picture
Yeah.
on the Taco Bell website?
Yeah.
Is there even meat on the inside of this taco, or is there just guac, sour cream, cheese, lettuce, and tomato? Because that
It
might
looks like,
change
I
the
feel like you
entire
could
thing.
customize it. I feel like you could customize it, but I also feel like it's probably going to be just the standard taco toppings, I feel.
Yeah, you're right about that. When did lettuce, tomatoes be standard taco toppings? That was
I'll
never
be
a
honest
big
with you.
hit
I never really followed the history of the taco in general. I feel like now that I do have, I have now a basis in the taco world. I'm grounded in the taco world thanks to this podcast. I'm going to follow up and I'm going to watch the trends. I'd like to see when lettuce and tomato disappear from the taco and when they're replaced by something else deep fried or something else saucy. At the rate that which they're going, they will remove any semblance of any piece of health food whatsoever. You know, if you consider, I guess, a flour tortilla slightly healthier than a piece of fried chicken. But I think with that, let's move on to our next topic, which is frozen Velveeta. Now, Josh,
Yeah.
this bothers me.
The frozen Velveeta bothers you?
Yeah, Velveeta freaks me out as it is. Velveeta is a very, how do I say, chemically food product. It's very chemical tasting, very synthetic tasting food product. I know it's in many cases the basis of a good mac and cheese.
I think Velveeta in solid form really freaks me out. Velveeta in liquid form doesn't really freak me out that much.
It's
I
a
tell
lot
you that
better.
Cheese Whiz freaks me out way more than Velveeta liquid gold freaks me out. Be honest with you.
But tell me, what's the real difference between a Cheese Whiz and a Velveeta? Because I'm not going to lie, both of those freak me out. I think they freak me out because in their solid form, they're so like rubbery and thick,
Gelatinous,
and it's got a real sour cheese taste to it. Chemical sour.
Does Cheese Whiz even solidify? I don't think Cheese Whiz solidifies.
I feel
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I feel like maybe. I feel like when you get Cheese Whiz in the jar, it's more solid than it is a liquid. You have to warm up Cheese Whiz to get it full liquid form. It just doesn't take as much effort to warm up Cheese Whiz. It's almost like if you were to take like a true queso, and then you were to take brick form Velveeta. Cheese Whiz is right in the middle.
That's a very good visual / not that good visual. Cheese Whiz is like mayo of the cheese world. No,
yeah,
it's like,
you know what?
It's like the
no, I think that's
Miracle
very
Whip.
fair.
The Miracle Whip. Like no one really likes it. But everyone gets it all the time,
in terms of social status, yes, it's definitely the Miracle Whip. But in terms of the actual consistency, your favorite word, Um, it's like a right good Hellman's mayonnaise.
Yeah. Oh shit! I just moved the camera. It is a
That's
right
okay.
good. It is a right good Hellman's mayonnaise, which is called something different here, by the way. Hellman's in America, in West Coast, is called something different. Same logo, different name, like Hardee's and Carl's Jr. Anyways, we're getting off topic here.
So I'm looking at these Velveeta cheesy bites. I'm
Yeah.
looking at, they have stuffed grilled cheese, Velveeta, and Velveeta cheesy bites. I'd like it to be known that this really isn't all that far away from a breaded popsicle minus the stick. I think that's the thing that really hurts my brain about all of this, is it takes me to a place that I don't want to go. I don't want to visit this place of Velveeta cheesy popsicles. It's arguably the worst thing that could ever be conceived in your grocer's aisle, your grocer's frozen foods aisle. But I guess as a snack, if you were to possibly pop these into the microwave, I guess it could be tasty.
This is so not a microwavable thing, Dave.
But it says it shows on the box microwavable.
I mean,
1 minute.
everything is microwavable aside from tinfoil. But let's be honest. Like this, you want a soggy hot pocket like savory turnover buttery biscuit dough filled with melted Velveeta cheese. You don't want that soggy. You want that shit flaky, right? You're putting that in like a convection oven.
Yeah.
I would even throw these in a toaster. Like I am not microwave.
Well, I don't think you could put the balls in the toaster. You might be able to put these grilled cheeses. But here's the thing. This is what I'd like to ask in response to this, Velveeta. This is a question for all the R&D people over at Velveeta and their brains. You go to the grocery store and you're buying these. Alternatively, you're going to the grocery store and you're buying bread and cheese. Now, you might spend a little bit more money on the bread and cheese, but I would argue that it yields far more sandwiches. Then you're taking these home and you're popping them in either the microwave for 1 minute or the oven for 5 minutes. Are you really saving that much effort and time as opposed to just making a regular grilled cheese sandwich, which I can't help but feel like is infinitely better than these things?
I'm just going through it in my brain, thinking of like what the situation might be. The problem is that I love. If there's one thing, let me just preface this for a second. If there's one thing, one application that Velveeta excels at, it's grilled cheese sandwiches.
Really?
Let's be honest. Come on,
Velveeta?
Dude. Those little like craft singles, that's Velveeta essentially.
No,
right?
No. A craft single is not Velveeta. And
Dave,
for us,
a craft single is totally Velveeta.
It is not even close to the same flavor. I will argue it to the death. If you melt Velveeta all the way, it's total liquid. If you put a craft single in between two slices of bread and put it on a frying pan, it is not full liquid. You can get a cheese pull. You cannot get a cheese pull with liquid gold. You can get a cheese drip, but nobody likes a cheese drip as much as a cheese pull. But let's go back to the flavor for a second.
Hold on, I have a question. I have a question for you. Sorry to interrupt. Are you doing a cooking stream tomorrow?
Yes, we are.
Okay, write that down and do that test. I want to see what kind of craft
Velveeta versus cheese pull. I promise you can't think about it. We've dealt with liquid Velveeta so much. In fact, to make Velveeta liquid, you have to add milk. You can't do a cheese pull with the milk. But let's go to the flavor for a second.
Okay.
A craft single is way closer to a real cheese flavor than a Velveeta brick is. It's that sour chemical Velveeta taste.
Velveeta has a lot more tang.
It's so tangy. Whereas at least a craft single is on the scale of being tangy Windex all the way to like a real true cheddar. A craft single is closer on the scale to the true cheddar.
Okay. I definitely can't argue with the comparison to a cheddar.
Yeah.
But then we're going into a whole it's a slippery slope down like what is cheddar cheese? Because I have like an argument going on, like a consistent argument going on with my girlfriend about American cheese versus cheddar cheese. Like I know cheddar cheese is being orange.
Right.
But in America, that's called American cheese.
Yeah, but that's just that's almost the same way. I remember when I was a kid and I lived in the States, little anecdote, people used to ask me, oh, you're Canadian. Do you guys speak American up there?
You're right.
And I was like,
Moving
well,
right along.
no, we speak English. I feel like it's sort of an American way of appropriating something and slapping the American name on it. It's still, when you boil it down, is cheddar, and Americans are well within their right to call it American cheese. But it's still the same thing. But more importantly than that, I really enjoy the idea of you and your girlfriend having extensive cheese arguments. I think that's just
really
a fantastic thing.
Listen, the struggle is real. America, it often comes up where it's America versus Canada in our house. But that's a whole other podcast.
Okay,
listen,
so let's just come to an agreement here.
okay.
Velveeta frozen food aisle treats. Yay or nay?
Definitely nay. Definitely nay. However,
Like, I'm not buying these.
I would buy them just to test them. Like, I would
Yeah.
buy this box
Yeah,
and put one in the oven and one in the microwave and then test it.
just to know.
Just to know and prove that it's probably disgusting. Also, you're freezing Velveeta, which causes ice to form, which makes it probably have a lot of moisture inside of it. So when you cook this thing,
watery.
it's just going to be a soggy
Mess.
nothing.
It's a soggy mess. Even if you do put it in the toaster, you're not getting rid of all that condensation. So you're getting either a soggy stuffed grilled cheese pocket, or you're getting a soggy ball. And I think both are not. Listen, you're a man from the food world. We mentioned before that you always have to have your tongue to the dirt to know what's going on in the food game. I believe that it is your moral obligation to test these out and know what they're all about.
I think that's a great idea. You know what?
I don't envy you for doing that.
I could probably do that on the R&D-licious pod.
You absolutely
stream.
should. But I don't envy you, because and this is just a personal position. This is just everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and my opinion is by no means the right one here. I am not a fan of Velveeta flavor, nor have I ever just sat back and been like, you know what? I'm gonna put together a really tasty dinner tonight. I got to go get myself 3 to 4 bricks of liquid gold. That's never happened to me, nor do I foresee it happening to me anytime in the near future.
Okay, fair enough. I personally, there's a lot of things you could do with Velveeta, but I don't want to take it there right now. Dave, can you move down on the stream just to the cheesy balls? I want to touch on this for a second.
Hang on, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this ad. We're not paying anybody any money here. Go ahead. So for those of us that can't see what we're looking at the package of the Velveeta cheesy bites. Salsa con queso. Creamy bites of Velveeta cheese blended with salsa in a crispy tortilla coating.
That's right. It is basically it's basically a gushing tortilla ball. This is the thing, is a little while ago, although this ball looks quite delicious, I'm not gonna lie, with the con queso spices and peppers on the inside, like, how could that be bad? It's funny because moving back to Harvey's, which again, if you're just tuning in, is a Canadian fast food restaurant, kind of similar to I would say Jack in the Box a little bit, and they actually had cheese sticks that were queso stuffed and tortilla coated.
I saw those. They looked terrific.
They weren't that bad after one. They were good up until the second one.
Weren't that bad.
You got to understand, like, with something like that, it's you have to eat it fresh. You have to eat it right out of the deep fryer, or else the liquid cheese on the inside starts coagulating, and then you end up with just eating basically a Velveeta stick. And cancel order. I want no part of that ever under any circumstances. I could just totally freak out just thinking about biting into, like, to think of taking that big brick of Velveeta, the big one,
You know,
Yeah.
what is it? Do they weigh it in grams, or is it ounces, or is it liquid? Is it milliliters? It's like a 750 milliliters, the same size as a bottle of JMO. Just grab that thing and take a big bite out of it.
Oh, it's disgusting. I'm having flashbacks of raw Velveeta bricks in my face and stuck in my beard, and it's just
See,
something I don't want to experience again.
but so
The
by
raw,
that
the
logic,
raw.
Velveeta should not be classified as an exceptional product.
I mean,
Okay.
it's not. Listen, there's ways you could use it. There's ways to modify it. Like, for example, I had this idea about taking a brick of Velveeta Gold. Now follow me through this. You take a full brick of Velveeta, you melt it down, okay? Then you take an ingredient, insert ingredient here. Let's just say cheesesteak ingredients. So you have steak, peppers, onions. You mix it with the Velveeta to create what we have done before, which was a cheesy dip. Except instead of using it as a dip, you then put it into a mold to reform a brick. Except this time, it's not only just Velveeta, it's actually Velveeta mixed with cheesesteak. So it's a brick of Velveeta cheesesteak. And then what you do is you slice off squares of that.
Oh no, stop. No, I hate you, and don't ever come up with ideas like that ever again. Oh man, just make Velveeta slices of bread and spread like a little hot sauce, maybe some barbecue sauce in between, and just take big old bites out of it. No thank you, I pass.
Okay, I think we've
moving right along to the next topic. Let's go to the next topic. I think that Velveeta wins this exchange, but I don't know that I'm actually going to purchase these. I don't think they're for me. But loud chips.
Loud. How loud could they be, really? Loud chips.
Like,
does everyone even know what we're talking about when we say these loud chips?
So let me just go ahead and read this out. Instead of showing it on screen, because it's not an impressive picture for those that are watching the live stream. Pringles is debuting a new loud line of chips. They are corn and grain and vegetable based crisps that feature layered, bold flavors. 5 new flavors at launch: fiery chili lime, that's a spicy tomato and lime flavored corn chip.
Corn crisp, Dave. It's a corn crisp.
It's not a chip, it's a crisp. Mighty Margarita Pizza. That's tomato, basil, and mozzarella flavors on a grain and veggie crisp. Salsa Fiesta, which is a salsa flavored corn crisp. Spicy queso, it's melty cheese and peppers flavors on corn crisps. Or super cheesy Italian, that's parmesan herb flavors on grain and veggie crisps. So, upon reading the headline, I initially thought that they are making a series of like extra crunchy chips that are so loud they annoy anyone in the vicinity of the eating of these chips. Now, after reading this announcement, it stands to reason that this is just a name that they are using to brand a new product that has nothing to do with volume.
On top of that, they no longer consider these chips their crisps, which the fuck is the difference?
They're saying it's a crisp. They're saying that no. So because these are vegetable-based crisps, I feel like it's going to be very much like a what's a crisper? You know, crisper's not a chip. It's not a cracker. It's a crisper. I feel like Pringles is starting to cut in to the crisper game. They don't want crackers.
I love a crisper, by the way.
And they're kind of over chips. And they already kind of set new boundaries, pushed the limits of what could be considered a chip. The Pringle is a very unique chip. I'll hand that to them, shape-wise and flavor and consistency-wise.
You know what? Shout out to Pringles for locking down the chip game in terms of uniqueness, because it wasn't for many years after they were conceived where companies like Frito-Lay came out with their version of the Pringle, which was the stack. Remember the stacks?
Yeah. Yeah,
no one ever gets them because why would you get a stack when you can get a Pringle, right?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
But upon reading this, first thought that came to mind was, okay, so they're coming out with new flavors, cool. I get it. R&D, they're trying to evolve, no problem. I thought that the loud aspect of it was that you could take each Pringle tin and you could then turn it into one of those iPod, iPhone speaker amplifiers. Because I don't know if you saw this a little while ago, maybe a year or two ago, people DIY'd the Pringles box where you would then take your phone and you would put it into it, where it like magnifies the sound. So I
Amplifies,
thought,
yeah.
so I thought all of these would basically have like cutouts where you could then, when you finish
Turn
it,
them
you
into
could
speakers.
use it as that. Yeah.
That they actually intended it. That would have been smart.
Yeah.
So here's what I say to you, Pringles. Good on you for wanting to redefine what your chip or crisp is. Good for you for releasing new flavors. I am always down for new chip or crisp or cracker related snacks and new flavors. But shame on you for not using the opportunity to really make something exciting and different. For example, a really loud chip that's accompanied by a repurposed or a reusable container that can be used to amplify sound from an iPad or an iPod, or if you have an old MP3 player, perhaps you're using a Sony mini disc player, or even a Walkman.
Scan disc, 2 gig MP3.
If you're
player,
using a Shockwave, you remember the Shock? What were they called? Was it a Shockwave? What was it, that big bulky disc
the
man?
yellow ones? Yeah.
That big bulky disc man that you could throw on the ground and it would be fine. It wouldn't even skip. Shame on you for not allowing us to repurpose your containers. I mean, we could do it ourselves,
yeah.
But I don't want to take out the scissors and play arts and crafts. You've
No,
already gone and repurposed a tennis ball container for chips. So
and
why
done
can't
really
you,
well at that, by the way. I'm just saying.
Why can't you take it to the next level and allow us to utilize this as a speaker amplifier? Shame on you, Pringles.
That's it. And now let's just talk about these loud flavors that they have.
They sound great. I mean, fiery chili lime sounds very much like salsa fiesta. I feel like they're going to be quite relatable. I'm down with the pizza.
I mean, the pizza sounds cool. It sounds like it's probably just going to be. I mean, what are you taking out of that? The Marty Margarita pizza. It's not going to taste like pizza. All you're going to get out of that.
No, I think it'll taste like pizza.
I find like basil when you first of all, I love basil. Love the flavor.
Basil or basil? Basil or basil?
Pasta.
Piasta or pasta?
It depends on your geographical location. But yeah. I feel like it could be good, but the basil is pretty much going to take over that. Salsa fiesta.
Yeah, no, I'm neither here nor there with the salsa. Personally, I'd rather a tortilla chip and dip it into salsa. Same thing with queso. I'd rather a tortilla chip or even a Dorito or just even a Pringle and dip it in queso. The whole appeal of queso is the queso itself. It's not the flavor, really.
No. Has nothing to do with the flavor. It has everything to do with being able to dip something into something, right?
Yeah. And to that I say... Sorry, go on.
How different do you think the spicy queso and the margarita pizza taste is going to be? I feel like the only difference is going to be the spice.
Enough. Yeah, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah. And super cheesy Italian, like that's going to be exactly like the Mighty Margarita.
It's going to be very similar, I think.
They don't
have enough variety.
They did one chip.
Yeah.
And they're like, how can we take one ingredient and make it different? So the fiery chili is going to be spicy lime.
Yeah.
The Mighty Margarita is going to have basil.
Yeah.
The Mighty Margarita and the cheesy Italian is going to taste exactly the same.
Yeah.
The spicy queso and fiery chili lime and salsa fiesta, have a good time.
I'm done with these Pringles. If I see these in the grocery store, probably won't buy them.
Won't.
To be fair, I don't really buy Pringles anyways. I do buy Doritos. So moving right along to the next topic.
Okay.
Sous vide at Starbucks.
I think really what I wanted to touch on was sous vide in general. I was using the Starbucks as like an example. Of what
I think it's a great example.
Yeah.
Because,
so let me. Yep.
Yeah, you take it away there, Josh. You take it away.
So sous vide, right?
Yeah.
Sous vide is. I'm just going to look up the actual definition of what sous vide is, so that I don't later on get corrected. But sous vide is a method of cooking in which food is sealed in a vacuum-sealed plastic pouch, then placed in a water bath or in a temperature-controlled steam environment for longer than the normal cooking times, usually 1 to 6 hours, sometimes up to 48 hours or more, at an accurately regulated temperature much lower than normally used for cooking, typically around 55 to 60 degrees Celsius for meat, and sometimes higher than that for vegetables. So basically what that means is sous vide is drowning your food and cooking it that way. This, up until recently, was a very extensive, professional, out of reach and hard to get cooking method. No one's going to have a sous vide bath with one of those fancy sous vide machines attached to it. It's thousands of dollars worth of equipment until now. Now, people are making DIY sous vide machines.
Yeah, people realized all they needed was a bucket and some water.
And something that vibrates. But it's gotten to a point where you can go on Amazon for like $50, sometimes $100. You can get like this thing that's probably, that is the size of a stapler, for example, and you buy it and you just stick it in a pot of water and sous vide your steak for an hour. And everyone's becoming a professional chef now that these sous vides are it's like very trendy and very pop culture-esque. And Starbucks is no different. So Starbucks, as you might know, they redefine their menu every single year, which shout out to Starbucks. Way to not be boring and way to keep up with the times and evolve. They now have egg bites that are made in a sous vide machine that you can get at every single local Starbucks nationwide. How crazy is that? They took this ridiculous sought-after cooking method and they brought it to a pretty much fast food restaurant.
I feel good about it because I think that Starbucks for a while has been trying to step their food game up. I've never been all that impressed with it. I know they've, in recent years, let's call it, have released, new flatbread sandwiches, fancy wraps, all sorts of, they have a decent
Cake
breakfast
pops.
sandwich there. Yeah, cake pops are big there. All their pastries have been stepped up. I feel like they do want to break into that food game a little bit more, a little bit better. I'm afraid that their main item of choice, the coffee, will suffer as a result. That's the case with all coffee chains. I was going to say coffee shop, but it's a coffee chain. Tim Hortons. They found themselves in the same position. Dunkin' Donuts, I feel like the same deal, where their coffee became secondary to the food. So while I applaud them for trying to up their food game even further, and sous vide is an impressive way to do that, I can't help but feel like there's going to be a sacrifice that will be made as a result, and that's going to be diminishing coffee's both flavor and quality. How do you feel about that?
I kind of agree with you there, Dave. I mean, Starbucks, although does have pretty decent menu items, I'm not going to lie, I've tried a lot of their breakfast foods.
I feel like you've tried all of them. I feel like you're obliged to try everything from every restaurant, by the way. Like, I don't know if you already do that or not, but just in your career, you need to be trying everything. A restaurant releases a new menu item, you have to be there the day. Like, you know how I wait in line to get video games? You've got to wait in line to get the first 5 cents. Yeah, you're iJustine for technology. I do video games. You do every single food item ever.
That's something
so
I
sorry.
would really love to
you
do.
were saying you've tried a lot of Starbucks food. How do you think that this is going to compare?
This is something I would never try. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm looking at the this Starbucks sous vide egg bites.
Yeah, taking a look at it right here. It looks nice.
They look like little cupcakes. They look like little breakfast cupcakes. Their choices are bacon and Gruyere. It's an egg bite that's salty, hearty. It has a bit of a nutty flavor from the Gruyere, as you know, Dave. You love Gruyere, don't you? It's incredibly satisfying and gives a taste of traditional breakfast sandwich without the grease or excess bread.
Wait, why did you say it like that?
I don't know. Just.
Do I like Gruyere? I don't know if I like Gruyere.
Gruyere is good.
Have I ever had Gruyere?
You like French onion soup?
I mean, who doesn't?
That's Gruyere. Gruyere is for French onion soup. It's like a nutty. It's like a softer Parmesan kind of.
Okay.
Melty
I could
pump.
get behind it. It's not footy like goat or
No,
brie.
no, not that much foot.
Brie's actually not even that footy.
No,
Like
camembert's mad footy.
Camembert's mad footy. Blue cheese is the most footy. You're like literally. I don't even want to say it. It's going to disgust me so much. So Gruyere is not in that realm. It's in the realm of good cheeses.
It's pretty good. I mean, personally, I'm a huge fan of Gruyere, and it's a French cheese, so we love the French. And then I feel like
French know how to make cheese better than anyone.
Probably a close second would be the monks in Oka. The Oka monks.
Yes. The good old, but they're
good old Oka cheese.
But probably French speaking, right?
Yeah, it's a good point. And then the second option they have, which seems to be a little bit less calorie option for you, would be the egg white and roasted red pepper, which is made with Monterey cheese. They dropped the Jack, not quite sure what that is, and pepper. And the flavor, it really stands out, the flavor, it says. Light, not too salty. They're a bit more, I can't believe they would say this on their website. They're a bit blander than their bacon counterpart, but a healthier vegetarian
website. Their website said it's a little bit more bland than the other one. Trust me, you'll like it, but it's also just a bit bland.
It's a bit blander. Listen, the healthier option is just a little more bland every time. Let's call it what it is right there. But they do look delicious. They do look, I think you could probably make this not in a sous vide machine. You want to know a quick little hack, guys. You want to make a quick little egg tart like this. Grab yourself a muffin tray. Scramble up some eggs.
Yeah.
Add whatever ingredient you want. Throw it in that muffin tray and bake it. Bake it in the oven. And there you go. You have your own non-sous vide egg
fake
bite.
Sous vide. And you didn't even have to go get a bucket of water.
Or you didn't have to take apart a hairdryer and fashion it into a sous vide machine. So
final word on Starbucks sous vide. I would say, just my 2 cents, good for you, Starbucks, for taking the leap into the world of pretentious cooking. Good for you for letting people believe that you are a quality level that is above all your competitors. I just hope you don't let it get to your head and make your coffee suffer as a result, because that coffee can at times be life-saving.
Don't sacrifice the Java
ever
for sous vide machines.
So that leads us to our next topic. Perfect segue.
Perfect
Jack Daniel's coffee.
Jack Daniel's coffee.
When you say it slow like that, when you just let it, you really take your time to say it like that, it makes it sound that much more impressive. I think that this is exciting, primarily because of the packaging. Now, I'm going to put it up in the stream, and the people that are listening to this podcast will not be able to see it.
Let's try and explain it. So as Dave puts it up in the stream, for everyone that's just listening to this podcast, it basically is traditional looking.
This is nice branding. This is really nice branding.
It's a traditional looking tin of coffee, except it's completely blacked out. And the face of it is exactly
Jack Daniel's
the same
logo
as the Jack Daniel's bottle, except with coffee on it. So you can imagine how cool it looks.
But even the small coffee satchels, these are just nicely shaped little satchels, all jet black, all with the logo and a jet black coffee bean. I mean, it's cool. It's really cool looking. They're getting me on the branding alone. They really, really are.
Yeah.
Also, let's not forget, perhaps the most important part of this, tastes like whiskey, made with authentic Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey, and the beans are 100% Arabica ground. Now, I know 0% of what I just said. I know none of that, what it means, but it sounds good from a marketing perspective.
Let me try and decipher what you just said.
Break it down.
With no educational awareness towards this subject.
Yeah.
As you know, when you cook alcohol, when you cook with liquor, you tend to evaporate all of the alcohol out of it. So you just end up with the flavor of the liquor. Right. So I think they might do that with this. Now, when it says 100% Arabica coffee, that means that there's no blend. So it's 100% that style bean, which I think is really, really
Yeah,
cute.
I see it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it says that it's actually infused with Jack Daniels. Now,
But
what
it
could
says
that?
non-alcoholic. How do they infuse it? I'd love to know.
Oh, you know what they probably do? Now, this is just a guess. They probably don't do this, but in my brain, I would boil the Jack Daniels while having the beans above it, so all of the steam and ethanol and flavors of the Jack while
Just
boiling it
wafts right into it.
waft, wafting.
Wafts.
It just wafts into the into the beans, and then they roast it. That could be a thing. I mean,
Or tell me, and again, you would probably know more about this than I would. What if they just took a whole bunch of Jack Daniels, dumped the beans in for like an hour?
like soaked it up.
Would that add any
I don't
flavor?
know. I don't know if beans soak up like that. I mean,
I know nothing about beans, so
do they
I don't want to
roast
say one way or the other.
do they roast the beans before? Do they roast the beans?
It says
No,
made with 100% Arabica coffee. The beans are roasted, medium, and infused with Jack. So it seems that the infusion comes afterwards. But I don't know if that's really. I don't know. Yeah, let's do some quick research right here. I would really like to know if that's going to be infused. Do they have something on their website? Yeah. JackDanielsCoffee.com. Oh, this is not
That's
a good
it.
website.
We are hitting up JackDanielsCoffee.com.
This might be a broken website right here.
I'm on it.
Just introduced. How do you infuse it? Roasted meat and distinct caramel and vanilla notes of Jack Daniels Old No. 7 Tennessee whiskey are evident in each sip. It doesn't say.
It doesn't actually say the step-by-step process.
No.
It kind of just gives you a.
It's too bad. I'd really like to know.
Here, hold on. Just like the Jack Daniels whiskey, our coffee blend is crafted with pride.
Yeah. That doesn't do anything for anybody.
Proprietary roasting methods.
Like
Okay, so by them saying proprietary roasting methods means
that's how they do it.
Up.
It means we ain't telling.
How we do it.
Not telling. It's our business. Get your own coffee brewing company. And I'll tell you something, Jack Daniels. Challenge accepted. My new lifelong goal is to own a coffee liquor brewing company. Don't even know what it entails, but I'm going to do it.
You know, since
Promise.
I'm on the website here, I might as well just buy a satchel of Jack Daniels coffee, right?
Yeah.
Might as well do that.
Yeah, you might as well. So I guess then, what's our final? There's not really much to say about it. Whiskey is excellent. Coffee is maybe even better. As a beverage,
better than whiskey.
I think coffee is a better beverage than whiskey, in my professional opinion. Feel free to disagree. I would say that in that case, Jack Daniels, I tip my hat to you, sir.
Tip my hat to you.
You are blazing trails in the coffee world, and I would very much like to try your coffee. And I would also encourage any other whiskey distiller to go ahead and make your own coffee, because I will buy it.
Here's a quick question for you, Dave.
A quick answer for you, Josh.
If you brewed a pot of Jack Daniels coffee, and then took a regular 100% Arabica coffee blend and made a cup of coffee with that, and then you took Jack Daniels and you put it in the coffee, are they going to taste the same?
I think they taste similar. You'd probably get way more liquor from the actual liquor in your cup, because it says here that this coffee is non-alcoholic. I feel like that's really what's going to give you the kick, as opposed to just subtle hints.
So if it's non-alcoholic, then we might be right with the fact that they're boiling off the liquor.
They're just using the vapors.
They're using the vapes.
They're just vaping out. They're just vaping out that whiskey and coffee infusion, which good for them, because everybody knows that the Vape Nation is really where it's at in the food game. It's a little known fact.
Vape Nation, holler at your boy.
Speaking of hollering at our boy, next topic is our good friend Furious Pete versus McDonald's. Now, you know what? I'll let you explain. We're not going to show the whole video here or anything, but
There's 2 points
Furious
to this
Pete,
video.
Furious Pete recently released a video where he tastes
Shout out
some
to Furious
unusual.
Pete.
Yeah, love that guy. Great, just all around great. He tasted some unusual food items. Josh, take it
That's
away.
right. As you may or may not know, Furious Pete is a competitive eater slash weightlifter slash fitness food enthusiast on YouTube.
He's a YouTube fitness guru.
Yes. But he's a fitness and food guru. The guy knows a lot about food.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
has probably eaten a more wide array of food and culinary cuisine than any single person I know on the planet. Like that's not an understatement. I'm actually like trying to go through my head and
Also,
think,
and he most importantly, he owns like a nutrition company that sells nutrition products.
yeah,
So
well,
that
that's the whole
alone,
thing.
that alone
the whole
puts him light years ahead of the rest of us.
Yeah, so he goes to various geographical locations and tries ridiculous things, ridiculous foods, and then he also does food challenges. Like recently I saw him. I forgot.
Well, no, let's just talk about this one. So, what did he do in this one?
Yeah. So this one he went to a bunch of geographical locations and he tried unusual fast food options that we don't get in North America. And there's 2 on this video that he has here, top 5 unusual fast food taste test, that I wanted to single out, both from McDonald's, both really interesting, and I would love to try. The first one being chocolate French fries from McDonald's. Now, this is a menu item actually available at McDonald's. I think it's in the Philippines. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not quite sure the exact place.
He's in Japan.
Japan, right. So he's in Japan and he gets what looks to be a typical box of French fries. Actually, this is not typical. Normally the French fries at McDonald's come in like that stand-up box, but this one, it comes in what looks to be like a chicken nugget box.
Yeah, or like where you'd put a McRib or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And they also give him this really fancy double chocolate sauce packet, which if you watch the video, the engineering behind this chocolate sauce packet is incredible. It like folds up and then you pour it on. I think it's white and dark chocolate. And essentially it's just
so
chocolate
nice looking.
sauce. Yeah, essentially it's just chocolate sauce on top of the French fries, which I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit disappointed about because I thought McDonald's had a little bit better engineering where they can make an actual chocolate French fry. I mean, what do you think about that?
I get that, but that's a serious undertaking because that's a whole other product. That's a whole other round of research and development. I have to tip my hat to them in developing this chocolate sauce dispenser because it seems very well thought out, very well designed to give you perfect layers of both white and dark chocolate. I think it's just a fantastic design, fantastic research and development that they did there. And to your point about developing a whole chocolate fry, the McDonald's French fry is just a fantastic French fry, perhaps one of the greatest of all time. So to now incorporate chocolate into that fry changes the essence of that fry, and I think that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, you have a very good point there. I guess it's just easy to put chocolate sauce all over your French fries, but where's the innovation there?
Well, the innovation is in the chocolate delivery device, which I think they really did a great job, a very unique job. But I think that there's no innovation in the actual French fry itself because you don't want to change perfection.
Yeah, very good point. You don't want to change what's not broken, right, Dave?
No, don't fix what ain't broken. Good for him, going all the way to Japan to try chocolate fries. I want to go to Japan and try chocolate fries. I
know, but I just kind of want to take that chocolate pack and pour it into my mouth.
I wouldn't mind just getting those chocolate packs and doing other things with them later, trying them with different foods. Oh man! And then he went to the Philippines and he tried crunchy spring rolls from Wendy's. Oh
yeah,
that is just that. But that is really. I feel like they'd be so good.
The funniest thing about
I want to see what's in
that
it.
part of the video was the ball of rice that he got with it.
Yeah, that seems very unnecessary.
This little sack of white rice that they gave with him.
It's
Like,
a
what is
way.
that?
I mean, yeah, I feel like the rice is totally unnecessary, but I feel like spring rolls from the Philippines, I don't know, from Wendy's can't be that bad.
Yeah,
Anyways,
but
yeah,
they
he
don't
doesn't
look
seem
like
happy about it. No, but that's not even the main thing that we wanted to talk about. He went to China, Shanghai, and had a gray bun burger that looks very bizarre.
Is that from
Um,
McDonald's too? I don't remember.
McDonald's, yeah. I would be very interested in tasting that, and good on him for going on this crazy food tour. The picture obviously looks substantially better than the actual meal looks, but to describe it to people that haven't, that can't actually see it on the stream because they're listening on a podcast, it's essentially like almost like a bao bun, where the standard burger bun is replaced by a bao, and I think that that's interesting. I feel like that could be pretty good. But I'm not sure I care about that nearly as much as I care about where is it in this video that we were supposed to, you and I were talking about this in advance. It's really the main the feature of this video. It's the spaghetti and meat sauce, I mean,
Yeah,
in
before we touch
McDonald's.
on that, before we get on that, just like for example, just hitting on this gray burger. How do
Yeah.
you think calling McDonald's gray bun burger? That doesn't sound appetizing.
I feel like to a certain extent that's lost a bit in the translation. I feel like that would probably be it'd probably make a bit more sense. Because certainly you're not selling any burgers in North America by calling it a gray burger. I mean, McDonald's is notorious for having gray burger patties as it is. So to then just flat out call the burger the gray burger, I mean,
Not so much.
That's not really for me.
And also in the video, he said that he fucked up by he asked for no mayonnaise on it because apparently Furious Pete can eat everything in the world but not mayonnaise. Shocker. and it got lost in translation, so they didn't give him anything on the burger, and that's why it looks so depleted.
So it just looks like a sad gray burger. It's
Yeah,
really
but,
the essence of the gray burger.
The actual picture of the gray burger, like the art, the
actual mock-up,
picture,
the actual photo shoot mock-up
it still doesn't look good. No, it still doesn't look good. I'm sorry.
It looks way better than what he had, and I'm intrigued. I'd be curious to try it, but no, it doesn't look like something that I want to go out of my way, let alone travel all the way to Shanghai to taste. I wouldn't go to Shanghai for the gray burger, that's for certain.
Precisely.
But now on to McDonald's spaghetti. Now,
McDonald's spaghetti.
I think that's just one of the weirdest sounding things I've ever heard of. I'm scared. I'm not going to lie, Josh. I'm scared by this. It looks like ketchup on noodles with a little bit of cheese. I imagine it's probably more like a tomato sauce of sorts. I would definitely be curious to try it out, but I think I could confidently say if there's one thing that I don't need, it's pasta at McDonald's. If there's one thing that I don't need, I don't think I need pasta. I don't think I need fast food pasta in general. Like there's already the Olive Garden, which is about as low of a quality as you can go in the pasta department. Yeah, I don't think I want to go any lower than that.
No, you don't want to go lower. And can we just note that they repurposed the chicken nugget box for that? So
yeah, that box
that's another
is very
one.
Listen, it's a very flexible multi-purpose box. I got to hand it to them. It's definitely the right box to use.
Yeah, and can we just note on top of the ketchup on top of the noodles, there's some sort of, it looks like it wants to be Parmesan cheese.
Yeah,
but instead it kind of looks
cheese.
like dried tofu flakes.
Yeah, it looks like some bad flakes of something. It definitely doesn't look like Parmesan. Yeah,
and then Pete, goes on and eats the pasta, which then he finds little pieces of pepperoni into that, which is really weird.
Yeah, there's no business having pepperoni in that.
Is like, this reminds me of how people thought McDonald's pizza was crazy when McDonald's pizza came out. Remember that?
Didn't do all that well.
No, it didn't do all that well. Although
it was canceled pretty quickly.
Pretty good though. I remember it.
It wasn't a terrible pizza, but also it came at a time in my life where you could have just said the name McDonald's and it didn't matter what you were serving me. I was really fired up.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anyways, Pete goes on, eats the spaghetti, and as he does with all of his food, finishes it. And then he actually says, something very interesting. It tastes like Alphagetti's, which I could totally believe.
Absolutely. And that's what I was getting at with regards to the sauce, calling it ketchup. I felt like it was a very sweet, not much substance to it, the sauce, like just not like definitely from a can. Nobody's cooking a proper real sauce here. It doesn't have the flavors that you would expect from a sauce. I felt that it would be something closer to ketchup, but to say, that it was an Alphagetti sauce of sorts or a Chef Boyardee sauce of sorts, that's in the realm of ketchups.
Yeah, it's a one note sauce.
It's a one trick sauce. It's a one trick sauce. Just a real bland, sweet sauce.
You know what they did? They took a pot of ketchup and they added a few tablespoons of Italian seasoning.
Maybe a little bit of like a Tabasco sauce or something, maybe one drip.
You're even giving it too much. You're even giving it too much.
I just felt like because it's in the Philippines, it probably had some spice. I feel like most foods from the Philippines have some spice, so they had to add a bit.
Good point. Good point.
I applaud Furious Pete. One more tip of the hat to Furious Pete for going on a worldwide taste test. I'm not sure I would. I mean, I guess I would try these things, but I guess there's a reason these things don't exist in North America. It's because they know that we're not all that interested in a spaghetti and meat sauce from McDonald's. Although I would try the chocolate fries. I think the chocolate fries would probably do pretty well here.
Yeah, they probably would do here. How come more fast food restaurants aren't doing sweet fries?
It's a great question.
That's a total thing. And you know what? Again, I just want to reiterate, shout out to Furious Pete, a good friend. We've known him for a very long time.
Yeah.
Love what you're doing, buddy. He's killing it.
Yeah, killing it.
All right, let's move on to the next topic.
Next topic is exciting. I don't even know. I think we're going to have enough. We got to start moving through these a little quicker if we're going to get them done on time. Because this one is self-explanatory, doesn't really need a whole lot of detail here. They're the Keurig liquor machines.
Keurig, for everyone who doesn't know.
So I don't think it's a. There's no picture of a product yet. I think it's just in development. It's not an actual Keurig brand. What it is it is a liquor and or beer dispenser that is like a one shot capsule that you run through a machine and it makes you booze.
Actually, Dave, you're right about that. But
actually,
according to a press release given by Anheuser-Busch, it is a.
They're calling it the beer egg. The beer egg. They somehow create a system. They somehow create a system that creates your favorite beers that you already know and love. Pop in a Bud Light K cup, add some water, turn on the CO2, and you have a fresh glass of beer in a minute or two. Worst beer to use as an example. I'm sorry to any of you that are listening and or watching that feel that Bud Light holds a special place in your heart. It is not the beer of choice in these parts. That is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Bud Light's, it's good if you're like want to quench your thirst.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to give me a proper beer in a K cup and it carbonates it and waters it down and makes it proper beer, I mean, yeah, I'm down with that. The K cup itself, as we just recently discovered in a live stream, and I say recently, but it's already about 2 months ago now, we did a live stream where we taste tested a whole bunch of different coffees. And much to my surprise, the K cup coffee was really, really far down the list in terms of coffees that I liked.
Yeah, I'm not about a K cup.
It's really watery. It's really lacking a lot of the coffee flavor. It's just overall not that good of a cup of coffee.
You know what, so Dave? When it comes, sorry,
I was gonna say, if we were going to apply the same logic to a cup of liquor or a beer or even a wine, if they were to do that, I'm not sure how I'd feel about it if it was to reduce the quality of the beverage. It's not like us as individuals really have to go out of our way to make a cup of a mug of beer, a cup of beer, or a cup of Jameson. We just have to go to the liquor store and buy some. It's not like we're sitting there and we're distilling our own whiskeys or fermenting our own grapes. or fermenting our own beers.
Well, that's the question. Is like, what's in this cup?
Do we
Is
need
there
it?
like dried hops? Is it freeze dried beer that you like add water to? It's very confusing. I mean,
Do we
coffee,
even
I
need
get
this?
it, you know?
I guess that would probably be the big key here to this device.
Yeah, it's like making soda at home
Is
with one
it
of those
better?
soda streams. You know, what a soda
So my
stream?
understanding is those soda streams, they actually suck.
Yeah.
They end up being relatively flat. The flavor is just not there. I totally understand that. Because again, like the K-Cup, it is just, you're removing a majority of the process that makes the beverage flavorful. So you're never going to get as good of a final product as you would if you were to brew the coffee normally or go and purchase a soda from your favorite soda manufacturer, producer.
You know what? I think all in all, this is a huge fail and an extreme
Well,
miss.
it's not, but it's not even out yet. It's not even. Is it out? I don't even know.
No,
it doesn't
it's not
even
out.
say. They're just working on it.
Yeah,
It's
I think
Anheuser-Busch teaming up with single serve coffee machine makers Keurig to try and make a machine able to produce beer, spirits, cocktails, and mixers. I guess that is kind of good in that it'll make you a mixed drink. If you're looking for a mixed drink all in one shot, then I think that could possess some kind of benefit or some kind of. But I mean, it would have to taste. It would have to taste way better than just going and buying the alcohols yourself and mixing them up. It would have to be better. It would have to be cost effective and it would have to be better. Otherwise, it'll be a huge fail. And that's a tall order, I think, to make it cost effective and to make it taste better than going out and making the drink yourself. I feel like you have a better shot at just going to the corner store and buying your favorite a Bacardi Breezer if you're looking to get yourself a nice mixed cocktail, you know?
Yeah, you love those Bacardi Breezers, don't you, Dave? Raspberry Blast, you love that shit.
Kiwi Surge. I don't need any of these.
No, and let's not forget that, like, I think, I don't know the exact fact, but apparently Keurig pods are clogging the ozone layer, and it's really taking pollution to the next level.
Those
like
pods, they are stuck.
Pollution.
They are stuck orbiting the planet and totally clogging up the whole ozone layer.
Yeah.
They're definitely Keurig K-Cups are definitely, we talked about this in our coffee stream. Keurig K-Cups are absolutely destroying the planet, almost single-handedly.
Yeah, no,
I mean, that's pseudoscience, what I just said there, but they definitely are very bad news. Do we need more of those products? I definitely don't think so. And judging by the fact that it's a partnership between Anheuser-Busch and Keurig, the biggest perpetrators of the K-Cup pollution packs, and Anheuser-Busch, the guys that only have to gain from this being successful, and they even can gain if it's a fail because it'll show people that you can never try and make your own beer at home.
Yeah.
So
no one needs any of this noise. I hate it.
So no one needs any of that noise. Way to go, Anheuser-Busch and Keurig. You've kind of been successful somewhat if it works out. If it's really that much tastier, then maybe you win. Otherwise, you could keep it.
Yeah, keep it. Keep it in the pants.
Next topic. New Girl Scout cookies.
Shout out to Girl Scout cookies and their ring of deliciousness because I love Girl Scout delicious. I think it's very important.
I think it's very important to say their ring.
Oh yeah.
So
Girl Scout cookies.
It is a new line of s'mores. They are now doing
Girl Scout cookies.
Girl Scout s'mores cookies. Let me show you a picture of these for those of you that are watching the stream.
That's it. They're celebrating the 100 years of Girl Scouts selling cookies by introducing their new Girl Scout s'mores cookies. They're combining two iconic Girl Scout traditions, s'mores and Girl Scout cookies, and they're joining legendary classics like Thin Mints and Caramel Delights and Samoas to the new Girl Scout cookie line that will be carried in select markets starting the 2017 cookie season. Now, before we get on to these, Dave, did you know that there is a thing called a cookie season?
No, and I'm very happy to know that it does exist. It makes a lot of sense. You can't be sending these little children out to peddle their cookies in the dead of winter. It's got to be nice weather outside.
Seriously.
I'm happy to know that there's a cookie season. That makes me feel very happy and glad, but it touches on a really important topic in my part of this topic, rather, in my opinion. How is this legal? It's going on like 100 years of the Girl Scouts organization exploiting children to peddle their cookies.
Seriously,
And
like what kind of...
If you think for a moment that the money, the sales from these cookies aren't going to line the pockets of the executives at Girl Scouts of America, you're dead wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care how delicious they are.
No.
There's something fishy about the Girl Scout cookie ring.
It's a cookie ring. It's a cookie ring, and it's perpetrated by Big Cookie. Big Cookie, the notorious cookie lobby in America. Listen, I am all for new flavors of Girl Scout cookies. They are excellent cookies. I've got to hand it to them. They've been making great cookies for years and years and years, and they are a household name, and they are really the pride and joy of America. So, good on the Girl Scouts for still holding it down and for still selling cookies. But more importantly, how in the fuck is it not illegal and not considered child labor?
Yeah, like unless each Girl Scout has like a Girl Scout savings bond where their entire career of being a Girl Scout, all the profits from the cookies go into that fund and get like a higher interest rate, that would be next level.
They don't own shares in Girl Scouts of America. These girls, I think they just come and they go from the organization. They are Girl Scouts one day, and then they are on with the rest of their lives the next day. And I don't think that the Girl Scouts, aside from teaching them some cool lessons and how to tie knots and stuff like that, I don't think it does anything for them except exploit them as cookie salesmen and women.
Just sales training from a young age.
Cookie salespeople. They are taking these young children and turning them into cookie peddlers and cookie hustlers. And I don't think that is fair or just in any way.
I tend to agree with you, and in fact, sometimes when you go to the grocery stores and the Girl Scouts are there like hounding you, it's a little bit invasive, although I always do buy a box because I'm a fiend when it comes to cookies.
No, Josh, it's because you're a sucker, and it's because these girls are exploited to the point where they are meant to harp on all those notes that you really would never want to turn them down. You would never want to object to them hounding you to buy cookies. Nobody has it in their heart to tell them to fuck off, But in reality, this is Big Cookie pulling all the strings and lining the pockets of the Girl Scout executives. You never say no.
Is the cookie lobbyist like the best job in the lobby game?
It's up there because you're getting paid. You have serious amounts of power, and the product you're selling is delicious. It's a delicious treat.
It's true. It's very true.
But on a more serious note, I am definitely down with a new Girl Scout cookie. I mean, I think that if anything, this here news headline, if you could call it a headline, is bringing to my attention the fact that there are so many other Girl Scout cookies. I'm looking here. There's Thin Mints. I didn't know that. Caramel Delights Samoas.
Those look good.
Those look terrific. It looks like it's got some coconut. Oh yeah, you're a real coconut fiend. You love a coconut candy bar. It's one of your favorite things. So this is very much like a coconut candy bar with caramel and chocolate.
Chewy,
it looks
also.
delicious. Yeah, it looks chewy. Here's a peanut butter patty tag along, which looks like almost like a really dry cookie, sugar cookie with peanut butter, and it's covered in chocolate, completely covered in chocolate. Yep. There's a shortbread. I didn't even know they did that. That's interesting. They have the Do-si-dos. I think I've actually seen the peanut butter sandwich Do-si-do. It's like just like almost looks like an Oreo, but peanut butter and brown cookie. There's lemonade, Savannah Smiles. Thanks a lot. Toffee-tastic. Trios. I mean, shit, Girl Scouts of America. I didn't know you were holding it down so hard with all these cookies.
I didn't know any of that. Just go back to the shortbread for a second. It's just like these two cookies with sugar cubes.
Yeah,
next to
just
them.
they're made primarily with sugar. Don't think that it's anything else but processed sugar, a little bit of butter mixed together into a patty. It's a sugar butter patty, which
That's
is
it.
all that a cookie really is.
But alas, going back to the new flavor of Girl Scout cookies, which is
Yeah.
s'mores, they don't even hit you with one option. They are giving you
They got
two
two.
varieties of Girl Scout s'mores cookies. One of them is their new crispy graham cookie, double dipped in yummy creme ice cream, and
Creme.
finished with a scrumptious chocolatey coating. Whoa.
Fuck.
And then the other one is a crunchy graham sandwich cookie with creamy chocolate and marshmallow filling. Both
So it's
sound
like
delicious.
it's like the original Girl Scout cookie that you know, with chocolate and marshmallow sandwiched in between the two cookies. The other one is more like it's more like a completely chocolate coated treat, but it has the graham cracker. So that's nice. That's nice. I mean, they sound delicious. And
Yeah.
if I'm going to trust anyone with developing a brand new cookie, I totally trust the Girl Scouts of America. And
Who else
what
are you
I'll,
gonna trust?
I'm calling them the Girl Scouts of America. I don't even know if that's what the organization is called. But I'll tell you what, they're way better at they're more than they're good at making cookies. They're really good at selling them. So
That's for
expect
sure.
these cookies in your pantry in the near future.
Hold on a second. When is cookie season?
What is cookies?
Because like I want to make actual s'mores out of the s'mores cookies.
I want to make a Girl Scout defense system that prevents them from coming and knocking on my door. Although Girl Scouts, you don't really get Girl Scouts in Canada so much. It doesn't really happen. They don't
No, it's
sell cookies door to door nearly as much as they do in the States. I feel like that's excuse me, that's way more in the United States.
Yeah, it's not a Canadian thing.
Definitely not.
I'll bring them for you next time I come.
Please do. I'd like to try these Girl Scout s'mores. They sound terrific, and I wouldn't mind giving them a taste. So that's just a terrible sentence, and we will end this topic right with that. Moving on to our final topic, which is Oreo Creme Eggs. Now, you may have seen on Josh's Instagram, you may have seen it on our cooking stream last week. We showed them. We didn't eat them, but we showed them. People are losing their shit over the Cadbury Oreo Creme Egg. Now, there they are. I think it's an awesome treat, the Cadbury Creme Egg. It's never been my favorite, but I think the most interesting thing about this is how Oreo is just always coming back and inserting itself into a classic product.
You know, we were talking about it the other day, and we were thinking, I think Oreo is every other year brand. And what I mean by that is
more than any product.
Yeah, and what I mean by that is it seems like people kind of forget about Oreo one year, and then all they want is Oreo the next year. Like this year, I mean, maybe not 2017, but in 2018, everything was Oreo. Everyone wanted to make things with Oreo. There was Oreo this and Oreo that. And I personally love Oreo. I know that you love Oreo too, Dave.
Big fan.
And that's what brings me to this Oreo Cadbury egg, which is interesting because I don't even think Oreo is Cadbury. Right? I think they joined forces. Isn't
It's a
Oreo
great question.
Nabisco?
Who the hell owns the Oreo Corporation?
Yeah. Shout out to Oreo.
Not the Oreo Corporation, the Oreo brand. Who owns that?
I'm on their site right now.
Are you checking it?
Yeah.
Who owns? Just go to Wikipedia and check Oreo. I'd like to know. You know, it's interesting. It is a great partnership. Cadbury makes great chocolatey treats.
Nabisco.
Oreo is a legendary cookie. So it stands to reason that they would team up for something like this. I feel like they're part of the same parent company, right?
In America, Nabisco owns Oreo. In the rest of the world, Cadbury. It says owner Nabisco Mondelez International.
Yeah, Mondelez. Mondelez is like, I think they own absolutely everything. I think they own each and every one of the cookies and the treats and the snacks everywhere.
It's worth $32 billion.
Mondelez?
Mondelez.
Yeah, so they can afford to merge a couple of products like the Cadbury Creme Egg and the Oreo cookie Listen, I'm all for it. I think that Oreo is one of the few treats that goes with just about anything. There's very few snacks or candies or chocolates or anything really that can be presented alongside an Oreo or with an Oreo ingredient that is bad. We made Oreo baklava a couple of weeks ago, and it was one of the best baklavas I've ever had in my life. And it was the first homemade baklava I've ever had in my life. So I just really feel like everything is taken to the next level by an Oreo. So good on them for mashing these two things together, because the Cadbury Creme Egg is just a classic treat.
And it looks really delicious. Like,
well, you tried it. How did it feel?
It's not like an Oreo cookie. So that's all I have to say about that. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Cadbury Creme Egg.
Yeah.
Let that be known. And I'm a huge fan of Oreos, but I think moving forward, I would love to just have them separate. You know, it's cool for a picture. It's cool for the concept of it is definitely ingenuitive, but all of these like egg chocolate bar eggs, like I saw a Reese's Pieces egg one time, and in Canada and the UK they have Cadbury caramel eggs. I don't know if you've seen those.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, so it's too much. You know, it's too concentrated.
So that's what I was going to say. Bert tried it, and she actually really didn't like it. For those of you that don't know, Bert is my wife. Her real name's not Bert, but we all call her Bert, hence the hat that I'm wearing that you may not see because you're listening to a podcast. She tried it, and she really didn't like it because she found it was too sweet. And that's a crazy thing to me because she loves sweets and chocolate more than anything, more than me even. And I felt that this would be something that would be right up her alley. She felt it was a little too overwhelming.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like it's just too much. You can't, like when you eat an Oreo, you know you're eating an Oreo. When you eat something like that, it just tastes basically just tastes like chocolate.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Which is interesting because when we made our Oreo baklava, like that tastes like Oreo. It tasted a lot.
It tasted a lot like Oreo, and with all the honey and added sweets from the baklava, we thought it was going to be super overwhelming, just like this, and it wasn't. It wasn't at all. So that's a testament to how Oreo works very well with other sweets, but I guess there is such thing as going too far with something like this. Yeah. And in the case of the Cadbury Oreo Creme Egg, they might have pushed the limits just a little too far. But you let us know what you think in the comment section below of whatever platform you are watching and or listening to this on, because your opinion is very important to us. I think that brings an end to our first episode of The Menu.
That's correct.
Our newest podcast where we discuss food news. And I would implore you to follow us on all the social medias, at the Josh Elkin, at David Huff, and send us topics that you perhaps would like us to discuss, things that you've discovered in the news world. And, you know, maybe, just maybe, every single week we can add a topic or two that is submitted from you guys, and we can discuss our opinions and drop some knowledge on that. If you haven't already done so, you know, hit the follows and the subscribe buttons and all those things, because this is a podcast that we're going to do every single week. It'll air live on twitch.tv/liquorsauce every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then we'll go up on YouTube and SoundCloud and iTunes podcasts and all those things shortly thereafter. And when I say shortly, that's because I really don't know exactly how long it'll take. But stay tuned for more episodes. We'll do this all the time. Thank you, Josh, for joining us live from Los Angeles.
Thank you, Dave, for having me, the Drunk Tank, and everyone else who might be watching and or listening to this. Appreciate you tuning in. Like Dave said, I just want to reiterate, if you have any suggestions of food topics that you want us to cover, something that is current and relatable to food, please hit us up on all things social media. This was a really fun time, Dave.
Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to start researching the next topics for next week immediately. So thanks again, guys, and we will see you in the next episode.